Thank you so very much for being back. And if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our conversation for today. Nigerian universities are facing a worsening accommodation crisis, leaving many students stranded without a place to stay. On campus, hostels remain grossly inadequate for the growing student population, forcing thousands to seek costly private alternatives. In Lagos, for example, and Abuja, Ibadan, and other major cities, private investors have built hostels, but rent prices ranging from 350,000 naira to over 1 million naira per session are far beyond the reach of the average students, and that is true, as institutions like UNILAG and LASU limited hostel spaces have led to intense competition and exploitation by landlords and agents, while some students resort to daily commutes that affect their academic performance. Parents burdened by the high cost of accommodation lament that securing affordable housing has become a bigger challenge than paying tuition. The situation is equally dire across other states. In Plateau, Bayelsa, and other regions, students pay between 30,000 naira and 700,000 naira for shared rooms or cramped private apartments. At UNIJOS, for example, and many lives and campuses, due to limited hostel capacity, are skyrocketing rent in nearby communities and in other parts. Now let's get talking. I still have with me Mr. Shode Peters. Thank you so very much, Mr. Peters, for being here.
No.
Truly do appreciate you. Now, we have all experienced this sometimes in our days, when we rode those jam and we passed, we're excited, we went to school. I'd love you to share your experiences, maybe. And now let's bring it forward to what we have. Of course, we'd love to compare it with governance structure as at the time, what we have today. Those universities are still there. Nothing has changed, actually. So what is wrong? Let's have an experience of where we were coming from.
Okay, let me look at before I got into school,
Okay.
when I'm in school, and what is currently happening now. When we got into school, I went to the Law University, and such a very beautiful place, but we have shortage of accommodation for students actually. I think almost about 50 to 60% of the students live on campus. Okay. The rest find their accommodation outside the campus. And a little challenging back then because there was the Ife Modakeke crisis then. So most students try to lean towards squatting in the hostels in the school environment rather than caught in between the melee that is happening back then. But by and large, what we heard then was, this is our school, everybody had their own bed space, just 2 or 3 of us in the room. The cafeterias were still there. We come here, they give us tickets, we come to eat. Everything is prim and proper, that you guys are suffering. So what they called suffering to us then, we felt like, this is still good now. Because my hostel accommodation was 90 naira in the school. When they increased it to 500 naira, it was a tug of war. Same 90 naira I paid in my secondary school. Government accommodation back then, yes. I don't know whether it is by law or whatever, was 90 naira. That was what I meant. That was what I paid for my bed space, and we were just 6 in the room. Our room was big enough to accommodate 6, 3 bunks, and then we were fine. So if you were a medical student, they had their floor.
Yeah, they had their own floor, yeah. True.
And once you become a final year student, they give you a comfortable
room.
You
are not a big boy.
Yeah, you are a big boy. They give us just 2 of us in the room, and they pamper you. So we had those arrangements, everything still prim, proper, fine, and cool. But early 90s up till now, the population of the country has almost risen by almost 300-400%. No, let me say 200-300%.
Okay.
Between 1990 and what we have now. So, and if you look at the number of students writing exam to enter higher institutions, over 1 million sometimes every year, trying to get admission in how many universities until private universities start coming to the rescue
to fill in the space.
You find out that a lot of people get frustrated trying to enter school. So you have that population demanding for education. but the supply of schools that they will go is not there. So private sector had to come in, trying to fill in the vacancy. But in trying to start these schools too, accommodation was left out of it.
Oh, okay.
They prefer to build
faculties, departments, and all that,
and looking for private sector to
do the accommodation thing.
You people, if you have brought university to your town,
community,
so your rich people should try and build things now and support us and co. But you see, that is what is causing the housing crisis, especially for students, whereby the demand for education now outweighs the supply of institutions. So the few institutions that are available to admit people, they also do not have adequate accommodation for the students they have given admission, they have admitted. So you now find out that the little accommodation in the school, I will use maybe a LASU as an example. There are some particular levels, some particular year that you are not entitled to accommodation. You go and find your accommodation yourself. There are some years they will be like, okay, maybe once you are in 100 level.
Yes, 100 level, 200, you have access for
the school hostels. After 100, they don't give you.
Go find yourself.
405, but we expect that by then you'll have. So people, they put a whole lot of measures. But you see, the housing crisis is not only for students alone. They are just caught in between. You see, Nigeria has a housing deficit of between 20 to 30 million.
But let's cut the cheese here. You know, all of these things we're talking about has always been there. It's more like a perennial issue. But since the coming of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it has worsened.
Hold on. You see, as of 1990, Nigeria has a housing deficit of about 7 to 10 million. Between 1990 and 2025, it has risen up to between 20 and 30 million. Housing deficits. And I will tell you why. Population growth. We had more children that were born when the economy was booming in the early 90s, especially when
in the early 70s.
Early 90s and democracy came.
Okay.
And we had so much industries, things were booming. We had a lot of those children born then are what they are the ones entering university now, not the ones in the 70s. So the ones in the 70s are already grandma now and grandpas. So the population between early 90s to what we have are the ones in that bracket looking for education or are just graduated and are paying so much for accommodation. That population became so much that the government back then did not do anything. If your population is increasing from about 50 million during independence to over 230 million as at today, as your housing provision also increased from what it was by 400%, no.
But don't you think those are excuses?
This is not a matter of excuse. Yes. It's a failure of government upon government upon government.
But can we pinpoint? Can we write the government under reference here? Because I have experienced military administration, right? And equally have experienced the so-called democratic thing we have. It was better off during the military.
No, all these things we are talking about is because everything is crystallizing and showing now. During the military, do you have social media to complain? Do you have all this opportunity to complain? No. You see, same as education. People will tell you in Lagos State here, all the schools Jakonde built are still the ones we have. What has happened to the government between Jakonde and now? Same housing estate Jakonde built,
yes,
is what you still have until now, except few additions that you see
very minuscule.
Very small. Yeah. The last time federal government intervened was maybe first pack in this Lagos. Since then, have you seen another first pack? No. You see, you cannot put something on nothing. If you fail to plan, you will eventually plan to fail. Outside population, number 2, rural-urban migration. People leave villages, towns to come to the city to look for jobs. The city you are coming to lacks the infrastructure to take everybody. That is why almost every uncompleted building you see people living there. trying to survive, especially in Eyebrow, Victoria Island, Lekki and Co. They live with big slums around them where people live.
Very true.
Because whether you like it or not, the rich and the poor, they have to move together. You cannot leave us behind. We'll find our way in between. But the infrastructure to make it happen for the population that is coming to town, because if you stay in the village, no light, no education, no power, no job, nothing. So what are you there for? I've gone to school. I have to go back in town. So that adds to the population here, making accommodation prices rise because there are plenty people looking for same accommodation. Far back over 15, 20 years ago, sir, I know in some areas in Oshodi, whereby rather than the landlord give house, give a room to people for rent, you rather give it to people. Most of them are guys you see selling things on the road, in traffic and co. 10 people can come and spend the night in that room. So if you collect 1,000,
per day.
Per day,
wow,
from them, all of you hang here in the morning, they go out too. So on a good day, you can make 20,000. By the end of the month, the man has made like 400,000-500,000 in one room,
which is better than
giving it
to somebody per year.
That is what they have been doing codedly to solve the problem of even so many of our under bridges because Lagos state government took over them. Some people were allocating it to people renting now. So 3, even for the working class that are even proper, you find out that they don't have access to long-term finance to do a mortgage. You go to and say, I want to do mortgage now, banks will be telling you 30-40%, bring this, bring that, because you don't know what happens. What if tomorrow government comes and say, we want to use that road and say, do this one, that one. So it's a high risk. So they put high rate of interest until this government came and they are trying to do MRIF, trying to say, okay, we can give as much as 100 million at a single digit, maybe 9%, and come, just get the house that have good title, we will support you and go. We have never had mortgage interest rate in this country at a single digit. Maybe in the last 20 years, never. They are just trying to work things. It just started this year, and people are still looking at it and see whether it is possible or not. So because everywhere abroad, go to US, go to UK, nobody builds. Nobody buys land to, you just go and get a flat to do mortgage on. And once you approach your bank, they give you the mortgage as long as you are working. And when they give you that mortgage, all you need to do is to pay 10% down. Once you pay them their 10% down, they give you the mortgage. At a single digit interest as you are working, you are paying. That's how it is done. Almost everywhere in the world. This is the only place where you see people want to buy land, want to do your borehole, want to start building everything. It doesn't happen in most places. So that is where leads us to the last point, which is government policy. You see, government has a lot to do when it comes to housing. It's just that it cannot do it alone because Nigeria does not even have that type of money.
Nigeria does not have that type of money.
Yeah, we are running budget deficits already. We are unable to meet health, unable to meet education, unable to meet security and co. So, and to build houses is not cheap. Government needs to come up with policies that will support the whole. Number one, all this your bureaucratic process of getting land documents, they need to go.
So how should you think? Yes.
No, now
how do you think it should be properly done?
Yeah, if I log in into a system, I have bought this land from Mr. Henry. These are the documents. I don't need to interface with any officer from my start, except they come to where I want to build or what we want to do to the end to get my C of O.
Okay.
Some people do not want to invest in some places because, sorry, tomorrow government can come and say this one, that one.
Yeah, especially because I wanted to bring in the Lagos demolition thing, which has equally affected in the lack of houses that we have today.
That's trust deficit on the part of the government. They need to work on it. 2, the type of housing we build must also change. We have this larger than life attitude. Everybody wants to live in their own compound, in their own duplex, in their own. Go to China, go to UK. It is high rise. Government should stop giving approval. high-rise.
That's for a country with the facility. We don't have power. We don't have electricity. So how do you manage a high-rise building?
Do you know that same standalone building that you have can accommodate?
I truly understand that. I truly do understand. So, but aren't you seeing the loopholes that we have? We don't have the facility to maintain these things. Afriland building, 10 people lost their lives. All these things are very avoidable. Yes,
that is what I'm saying. That all these things, it's about planning. Never say never. Don't say anything is impossible. As bad as you think it is, go to the island. People are building these high rises and selling, providing that it is just, if you have your money, you will buy it. If you have your money, you will buy it. Like I said, government might not be able to do everything. But if you wake up today and say, okay, private sector, this is what I want to do. Julius Berger, Morine Prono, ITB, all these major construction companies. I have this vast land in all states of the Federation. Work with state government. Begin to build them. Just 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. Run a rail line from wherever you build to the city center that takes just 20-30 minutes so that people can get to the city center and start to find their way to their workplaces here and there. You see a lot of people will leave that city and go back to towns where that is what happens abroad. It's government policy that will direct. It is not government that is building all those houses that you see abroad. It is the private sector that the government is working with to make sure. They make sure such in a way that if we build these houses, so it's not the type of house that Henry will buy. He will be living in Lekki, but he will buy that one and hold it. No. If you don't live there, we will revoke it from you and your money will never be returned. They are for people who will live here within this bracket. You see, it's a matter of sitting together, brainstorming about this thing and coming up with adequate solutions. It will happen.
All right. So just before we leave, we have less than 2 minutes to do that. You talked about policies of the government. Let's narrow it to Lagos State government. We've seen lots of demolitions here and there, and it adds to the worsening crisis of housing in Lagos particularly. Why is it difficult for Lagos State government to say, okay, this is the map of Lagos, right? These are drainage areas. Let it be open for everyone to see areas that should be built and areas that should not be built, right? But a situation where everything is left to everyone to do as they like. Imagine investing, like the buildings they demolished at Ikota. Most of those buildings were sold for 300 million and they had all the papers through C of O.
Do you want us to go into this?
Please do. Let's do it if we can in the less than
go and check all the people whose houses were demolished. How many of them have approached the law court for justice? You see, it's easy. Both parties are to blame.
Okay.
But I will get there. It's easy for us to sit here and just apportion the blame. But if you want to spend 300 million naira on a property, Mr. Henry, I expect you to use at least 10 million naira to get into the government agency responsible and get all your documents. If it is possible for you to even see the governor to sign it in front of you, which I'm just joking.
Yes, I understand.
How would you be building a property or buying a property of 300 million and you have not gotten to the government agency to issue you a paper saying that this place is free?
So are you saying there are people who
there
are people that do not have all of these things but have gotten their houses demolished?
The one in Ekota?
Yes.
That you saw?
Yes.
There is a physical planning office by the Ekota.
Exactly. Someone was here and was saying, if this is there, why should they allow this?
Most of the time,
yes,
you find out that crooked officers will tell that this is our office and nobody's disturbing anybody. That is what those guys used to sell the houses. See physical planning now.
If there's just nearby.
They will do this. Yeah. But go and check very well. If those people have gone to LASU to check, because they have the chart of the whole state, they have the survey, they know the canal panel. All you need to just get a lawyer or an agent who will do that. They will issue you that this place you are trying to buy or build is not free. But the way these marketers market to you, they will tell you that government would excise the place to them. The document is waiting in front of the governor. He will sign it. Everybody has agreed. This, that. Look at what happened in trade fair. Though the land belongs to the federal government,
yes.
But the law is that once you want to build anything, you approach the state government.
Really?
Yes.
But it's
the law in every state.
It's under the management of the federal government.
No. That is the law in every state. In fact, I have a brother who bought a federal government land around the Paja here, got his CFO from Alausa, but when he was building, you have to submit all your building approvals, all your building plan to the Lagos State government. They come, they inspect your materials. Their own is not the land, their own is the building. Same thing that happened in First Act. It might be a federal property. If you go to Enugu, Zamfara, anywhere today, and you have a federal government land there, and you are building there, the state will come and tell you that, come, though you are building, are you following all the plan of our own state in building? It is their right.
So why aren't they doing it in military formations?
In military formations?
Yes, in our barracks and all. It's owned by the federal government, and they build as they like. The state governments don't have jurisdictions over those places.
Wait. You mentioned this. Those are military institutions.
Yes.
I don't have the information, but I doubt if military will also build without reaching the state.
Really?
Fashola had stopped the military man passing BRT before that, and they had to find a way around it and apologize. You see, don't think that because they are military or they are police, they are irresponsible. No. They might have their top-notch working with the state government. They might not pass through almost all this our own marking and demolition and trying to. They may be like, come, we are doing this number of housing units in this place, so this is what it costs to go. The state will just say, okay, we'll visit and we'll just stamp and go. All those ones are different. You don't use those ones as excuse for yourself. What I would advise people is, if you want to do anything, stop working with people that are nearby or calling themselves agents. Get a lawyer. Let them run a search for you. When they run a search for you, that is when you will know. And to government, you do not wait till people finish everything they are building before you move in and tell them. Because the government agencies that are close to those places where those things were demolished, all the officers there are supposed to be arrested.
Very well.
Because you guys saw all these things.
Yes.
Immediately you see somebody
from the land feeling,
it does not stop from marking it alone and say, I've written them, I've listened. Go in and demolish from the beginning.
Beautiful.
Go in, demolish from the beginning, so that let us begin to have that engagement. You will know that I am not supposed to be here. But I can tell you, people try as much as possible to use money to sway whatever money cannot do, more money will do it. Everybody looking for how to find. So that is where you find yourself caught in between. Most of the officers that encourage those people to do these things now, they have retired. Some of them have gone. Some of them don't even live in Nigeria anymore.
Very well.
But they have put those people in problem. So it's contributory negligence, as far as I'm concerned. You cannot, if you have a right to your hope and government is supposed to pull down your property, you can approach the court. Government will compensate you. It's simple. Because you have a title of the state in your hand. But if you don't have a title, you come saying, we have built it this much, we have spent money. If you see somebody who does not care about all the money you have spent, they'll pull it down. Especially when it becomes a matter of public importance. See the type of water affecting them in Lekki.
Really, really bad.
So the government will not think about anything 300 million, 400 million house. As long as you're on the canal, pull you down, so that other people who are expected can have peace in their house.
All right, very well said. You know, we talked about lots of things, from the deficit of hostels in universities to housing deficit in Nigeria. We talked about policies and how that the government is not really doing as much as they can in order to ensure that policies are followed through. Shodi Nde Peters, I know you hate it when I compare Nigeria to other little countries, but in Ivory Coast, for example, if the government earmarks a particular place for building construction, it's the government first that goes into there, ensure drainages are done, ensure electricity are there, ensure the water is there. They provide all of those things.
That's the job of town planning.
Yes, so it's legitimate from the very beginning. Before private people now come in.
We have those
in Nigeria, we don't have it.
Yeah, we have those in the past where if they tell you this area, we have planned it, is bungalow and aged people that will live here. So we are building bungalows here. They can come here and say, okay, we are building high-rise, two-bedroom, two-story building, and cool. All the houses in the area will be similar.
Yes.
You have something like a festa, well planned, well arranged. That is the job of town planning. But town planning failed here. where everybody just, you can see a big queue or a story building here, next you see somebody building high-rise, everybody just doing anyhow, because government too, when giving approval, they care more about money. They don't care about, in those countries, you receive your CFO in 2-3 days.
Very well.
I've worked with somebody before who came from Côte d'Ivoire.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the Francophone countries. Yeah, Côte d'Ivoire. That is from Côte d'Ivoire. When he came to Nigeria and worked with us, and we started saying lease agreements, we'll go and register, we'll do this, like, he was like, what are you people doing? Is it not you and landlord, you talk and go? What's anybody's problem in all these things? She said in their place, once you buy land, you go to government, submit. 2-3 days, they will call you to come and pick your CFO. What are you people spending so much? She didn't understand that this is the process in this place. She felt that guys were trying to be funny until she got entrenched in and found out the way you people do. That's what I said earlier. That bureaucracy has to die.
Has to die.
And not the one that is, some people will sell land to somebody, people will have built a whole community. Another part of the family will now come tomorrow and say, the man who sold to you is wrong. It should have been our family that should have sold to
so we have so many families interested in this land.
They use their connections.
So many issues.
So all those things are part of why people lost confidence in government and do anyhow. So comparing Côte d'Ivoire with us, of course, yes, you always see the gap. They are better people who manage their affairs, very thorough set of people. But because their population is also adequate, still doesn't mean they don't have their own housing challenges. Check it. You will see a whole lot of, when they come to Nigeria and see houses and see cars, they get shocked. What's happening here? It's like they are in New York. I'm not saying it is the best of the best, but to be sincere to you, every economies have their own challenges. We just hope that the government is able to sail this ship to the proper destination. Because anytime where you see problem like this, you see money.
True. Chaos brings money.
You see it as a problem. But a right-thinking individual, a right-thinking businessman, a right-thinking leader will see, wow, shortage of 30 million housing. So that means if I build 1 million houses here and I spend $100 million to do it, and I go out with $500 million, and the person will start work. I was watching how Obasanjo was talking about how he encouraged Dangote to build his factory, and he has taken him from Nigeria to Tanzania to so many countries, and now the guy has blown. That is it, because they saw a problem. What we see as problem has become money for the man, made him the Africa's richest man. Now he has a refinery because he saw you guys have energy problem. Your problem is my own money. So I encourage all of us, look at problems. Not about shouting about all those problems. All those problems that you're shouting about is money.
As someone's solution to the problem. Very well said. We can't overstate some of these things, but these are germane and the fact of the matter. Thank you so very much, Mr. Shogun Peters, for being here. And that's just about the time we have. Love to say thank you. Please do well to follow us. You can rewatch when you visit us at EnterpriseTV7, and equally you can read up on everything we've talked about when you see us at EnterpriseTVNews.com. I am Henry. Have yourself a splendid day. Stay tuned for other interesting programs coming up on Enterprise Television. Have yourself a splendid weekend. God bless Nigeria. God bless you. I'll see you on another one. Bye-bye.